We're not makers of history, we're made by history. Every man must decide whether he will walk in the light of creative altruism or in the darkness of destructive selfishness. We must use time creatively, in the knowledge that the time is always ripe to do right. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. An individual has not started living until he can rise above the narrow confines of his individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity. All labor that uplifts humanity has dignity and importance and should be undertaken with painstaking excellence. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than absolute misunderstanding from people of ill will. The quality, not the longevity, of one's life is what is important. We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. No person has the right to reign on your dreams. Whatever your life's work is, do it well. A man should do his job so well that the living, the dead, and the unborn could do it no better. You will change your mind, you will change your looks, you will change your smile, laugh, and ways, but no matter what you change, you will always be you. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus but a molder of consensus. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. Forgiveness is not an occasional act, it is a constant attitude. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? When you are right, you cannot be too radical. When you are wrong, you cannot be too conservative. That old law about an eye for an eye leaves everybody blind. The time is always right to do the right thing. Change does not roll in on the wheels of inevitability, but comes through the wheels of struggle. Whatever affects one directly, affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. This is the interrelated structure of reality. Almost always, the creative, dedicated minority has made the world better. I came to the conclusion that there is an existential moment in your life when you must decide to speak for yourself. Nobody else can speak for you. He who passively accepts evil is as much involved in it as he who helps to perpetrate it. He who accepts evil without protesting against it is really cooperating with it. Human progress is neither automatic nor inevitable. Every step toward the goal of justice requires sacrifice, suffering, and struggle, the tireless exertions and passionate concern of dedicated individuals. We must learn to live together as brothers, or perish together as fools. I have a dream that one day, little black boys and girls will be holding hands with little white boys and girls. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. A nation or civilization that continues to produce soft-minded men purchases its own spiritual death on the installment plan. Mankind must put an end to war, or war will put an end to mankind. Take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. Have the audacity to believe that peoples everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be a sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or fail. Be the best of whatever you are. Rarely do we find men who willingly engage in hard, solid thinking. There is an almost universal quest for easy answers and half-baked solutions. Nothing pains some people more than having to think. We must build dikes of courage to hold back the flood of fear. I am not interested in power for power's sake, but I'm interested in power that is moral, that is right, and that is good. Tomorrow is today. We are confronted with the fierce urgency of now. In this unfolding conundrum of life and history, there is such a thing as being too late. This is no time for apathy or complacency. This is a time for vigorous and positive action. One day, we will learn that the heart can never be totally right when the head is totally wrong. The complete education gives one not only power of concentration, but worthy objectives upon which to concentrate. Nothing worthwhile is gained without sacrifice. The hope of a secure and livable world lies with disciplined nonconformists who are dedicated to justice, peace, and brotherhood. We cannot walk alone, and as we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall always march ahead. We cannot turn back. Hatred paralyzes life, love releases it. Hatred confuses life, love harmonizes it. Never succumb to the temptation of bitterness. One of the great liabilities of history is that all too many people fail to remain awake through great periods of social change. Every society has its protectors of status quo and its fraternities of the indifferent, who are notorious for sleeping through revolutions. Today, our very survival depends on our ability to stay awake, to adjust to new ideas, to remain vigilant, and to face the challenge of change. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people, will get to the promised land.